Welcome everyone. Let me move my bottle out of the way here for you, and then we'll start. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got a great show for you tonight. I hope you enjoy, and this is Serene Sunday. So we'll start in a little bit. Tonight we're going to talk about peace and how to not only bring more peace within you, but also bring more peace around you. And I entitled it Peace Be With You because in the end, I guess that's what I want for everybody. So I hope you enjoy, okay? If you're watching this on a watch party, know that I am not live. But if you're watching this right now, obviously I am. It's alive. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel, of which is by the same name, Druid Circle. My name is Druid the Classic Clan, founder of Druid Circle, founder of Druid Order of Blessed Stone and Wood, and founder of Druid University, along with Druid Living, a very conservative pagan media outlet. So tonight I made some things for you. So you could actually some dittos, if you will, and they're in reverse to me. So I did them in reverse, that they're mirror image to me, so I can't read them until I face them up to the screen. So I hope you guys like this, okay? So this way you could actually see what I'm saying instead of it being in reverse to you. So let me just make it bigger so you guys could see what we're doing, okay? Hold on just a second. There we go. All right. Okay, so it's Serene Sunday, peace be with you. All right, and I have here in this video, you will learn how to maximize the peace within and upon the life you want. Okay, and then I have here, we will learn the origin of the word peace and how it relates to the concept that would be pleasing to the most holy ancient Druids. Okay? And then I have here, we will reenact forms of the word peace in pre-Christian folklore through examples of two distinguished types of peace. And fourth, we will delve into the difference between inner and outer peace, present and present tools to obtain them. And finally, what we're going to do is we're going to theorize mantras and magic to strengthen what you've learned. All right, so knowing that, let me go back. There we go. You guys can see my altar. I just did it for Letha. I'm sorry, for Lamas or Lunasa. And we're going to begin. So we have a lot of stuff to do tonight. I hope you have seen that. I also put that in the title so you could actually see what we're going to be doing, so you know the objective and you're clear on the elements and parts of what you're going to learn. One thing about all of my lessons that I teach, whether it's Serene Sunday or On the Path or anything, I take you from a very high position, or in case a low position, and then we move closer and closer, deeper and deeper to what is truth. So I really hope you enjoyed tonight's talk. So let's begin. So one of the things that I think that we need to understand about peace is that in almost all, if you will, in almost all definitions, and you guys know I'm not big on definitions, but if in almost all definitions, peace is defined as freedom from disturbance, right? So anyone who claims to come in peace that are causing disruptions, they're not looking for peace, they're looking for disruptions. And they want to disrupt everyone that they meet. they want to disturb their peace because they, in a sense, are not at peace. And whether or not that's justified or not justified, it is just a matter of fact. So freedom from disturbance is possibly the best thing we could get to in terms of what peace is. Now, when you're looking at it from an etymological point of view, okay, peace means to fasten. It means to fasten, okay? And then if you go deeper and even backward in time, it means bringing things together, to fasten things together, to bring things together. But interestingly enough, when we bring these things together, they are coming from an agrarian point of view. They're not coming from just matter. They're not just coming from things. They're coming from an agrarian or agricultural point of view. So it was a word used in farming, okay? That when you would fasten things together, when you would bring things together, you would bring peace. Do you see what I'm saying? And so if you look at the Proto-Indo-European root for the word, pardon me guys, let me just shut off my my notifications. Sorry about that. There we go. Sorry about that. So when you go into the Proto-Indo-European, we start evaluating the consonant set, and the consonant set is P and G, pag, and that is actually pronounced puck. Now, when you think of the word puck, because there is an oral tradition that we have, you find that we use the word puck today. A puck is what? A puck is a circular disc, okay? And it represents something circular. And when you have something circular, everything comes together. That's where you get the essence of whole. That's where you get the idea of holy. And that's where you get the idea of a puck, okay? So even the sound or the word puck, okay, that sound, that utterance, that Proto-Indo-European utterance, puck, 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 okay, that is a sound that you would want to make when you are using magic, okay? Because you want to go back to the oldest syllabic utterances to produce the magic that you're looking to produce, okay? Now, interestingly enough, when we talk about agriculture and we talk about agrarian and we talk about these things of, say, wholeness, fastening, bringing together, free from disturbance, and you hear the word puck, okay, which is actually the P and the G. Very interestingly enough, about those two consonants, they form the root of the word pagano, 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 pagano. And pagano is pagan, showing the difference between pagans, a very clear difference between the agricultural word and the agricultural tribes, and how peaceful these tribes were. Now, we're not talking about Druids. We're talking about the pagans, the people of the land, the countrymen. In the opening quote of St. Patrick and his confession, he says this. He says, "I am not but a mere pagan. I am not but a mere pagan." And those are the first words in his line right before death. He doesn't say anything about Christianity. He doesn't say anything about Catholicism. St. Patrick admits to the fact that he is a pagan. He is but a mere pagan. Hence the reason why he wanted to learn from the Druids. Hence the reason why he went to learn from them. So, interestingly enough, when you start talking about this idea of fastening, this idea of bringing together, this idea of coming together and being free from disturbance, we then begin to see this essence of this circularness. We even see this circular formation in the buildings of the Celts, okay? The mounds of the Celts, they were all very circular. And so there's something about this idea of circular and something about this idea of pagan, something about this idea of farming and agrarian culture that we need to understand to continue to move forward in delving deeper into peace. I thought that was pretty interesting. By the way, pagon is Italic, which is the precursor of Latin and the precursor of Italian. Okay? So I found that quite interesting. All right, let's dig a little bit deeper now. Now we went from a basic concept. Now I'm going to bring you deeper into the etymology and how that etymology works with the Druids. So, Druidic in nature during the time of the Druids, okay, there's been some foundation and essence in both the function and the purpose of the Druids pertaining to being without disturbance, free from disturbance. And what would cause disturbance? I say it time and time again. Who caused disturbance to the most ancient tribes? The Roman Empire, right? Along with other groups. I mean, the Ishmaelites, the Celtic dynasties, that would be the Celtic elites, right? Similar to the elites that run us today. And the Celtic tribes knew this, you know, and others, right? Along, obviously, with the lower castes, the Vates, and the bards. They all wanted to attack. They all basically jumped on the Druids because they wanted what? They wanted power. Power. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, if you want power, if that's what you want, be it thus, because I'm going to tell you, it is nothing but, I would say, the desire for weakness. It is the opposition of weakness. If you think about the function and the purpose of the Druids, we all have a function, we all have a purpose, right? So a baseball player, right, would be his or her function would be to play baseball, but the purpose might be something totally different. The purpose might be that this person one day pushes somebody out of the way because a car is coming right toward them, right? And their purpose in life was to save another person's life, okay? But they're a baseball player, that's their function. So that's the difference between function and purpose. So understand that. Function is what one does. Purpose is what one's calling is to do, okay? And we all have that. We all have function, and we all have purpose. The Druids did too. The Druids' function was to stop warring tribes. The Druids' function was also said to annihilate complete tribes via sorcery, okay? Now, with regard to the function of stopping wars, their purpose would have been to focus on this outer peace and to annihilate these warring tribes or something coming in to attack, okay, would have been to create inner peace, because they would have ridden that external force of complete chaos, and therefore all they would have been left with was deep cosmos. Understanding that when we see words used to describe the Druids, one of the words that is referred to them is in the absence of war. And I found that completely astonishing. In the absence of war. In the absence of war. And when you really think about that, when you really kind of delve into that whole idea of being absent of war, then you get back to freedom from disturbance. So it's all tied in together. But we're just on a deeper level now. And we're going to bring you even deeper now. And deeper into this idea of how peace was used in pre-Christian folklore. And since it's Lunasa, I figured I'd take a piece of pre-Christian folklore and I go to certain lines in Gaelic to see what word is being used, to show you that there are truly two different types of peace. In the story of Lu, especially in the story of Lu's birth, okay, I would say, and the salvation of Lu, because then Lu turns around and feels that after Manannán mac Lir saves Lu, right, and then Lu then wants to do the same. So on his dying breath, he then sacrifices himself to his people and then transforms himself, or in a way transubstantiates himself into bread, right? And then he becomes the bread of life, giving bread to the people. This is all pre-Christian now, okay? This isn't even close to the Christian era. This is way, way, way before Christ, right? So I pulled some lines that you might very well be interested in hearing. In the one rendition that I pulled, okay, in Gaelic, it says this. It says, Lu said, I will play, okay, on the Dagda's harp, and I will be given peace. I will play on the Dagda's harp, and I will be given peace. That's proof, okay, and you're going to hear why. That's proof of inner peace. Inner peace. Lu said to Manannán mac Lir, he says, I will play on the Dagda's harp and I will be given peace. Now, when talking about another type of peace, which is outer peace, we hear this. We hear this from the very same story. It says, Lu left Ireland for the Isle of Man. Get it? Isle of Man. And Lu was to become the Son of Man. Okay? The Isle of Man, because of a flood. Okay? There was a flood that we believe is the flood that took over and annihilated what? Annihilated Atlantis. Okay? That's why we still have that's why we call it the Atlantic Ocean. It's proof right there. Because of a flood that took most of Ireland. All right? And so when you hear the word took, like took it out, right? We see proof and evidence of another word, peace. That there was a relief. That the annihilation, like I talked about in the second compound, that there was that annihilation of the warring tribe. And in this case, the flood took out something and Lu was saved from that flood. Okay? Lu was saved from that flood. That peace is different. That peace is outer peace. So you have a proof of inner peace right here. In these pre-Christian texts. You have a proof of inner peace and you have a proof of outer peace. Okay? So that peace isn't just within you, peace is around you. Okay? So when talking about peace, we need to really consider what type of peace we're trying to look for. All right? All right, now I want to talk a little bit about first. Now let's break it down. So I kind of gave you the layout. Now we're going to go deeper, and we're going to explore inner peace itself. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Gaelic and how it's used. All right? So, first of all, in Gaelic, okay, first of all, inner peace comes from cuneiform, which means, in a sense, it means nose, okay? Nose, okay? Inner peace, believe it or not, means nose. It means come, okay? Believe it or not, it does, and I'll tell you why in just a second. And then in Gaelic, it means within thought. Within thought. Inner peace means within thought itself. Okay? And when we hear it in cuneiform and in Gaelic, we hear that it is actually alluding to a word called exhale. Think about it. When you exhale, you have inner peace. You have inner peace, right? It's within thought. It's within your own thoughts. And today, the word is swiftness. Swiftness. Now, proof of this from ancient languages, even in the Middle East, you have that MH, similar to an upcoming season called Samhain, Samhain, which doesn't sound like Samhain at all. It's so when, swiftness. It's the same word, the same sound, right? So anytime you see a DH, an MH, or anything like that in Gaelic, you know it's from the Middle East, okay? So it all alludes and it all means the same thing. It is proof that when we exhale, okay, we are exhaling and we are relieved, okay? And that exhaling, that nose, that coming, okay, that whole thing is all about, it's that all about being relieved, all right? Now, as we go deeper and deeper into the second part of peace, and we look at outer peace, and we look at cuneiform, because I want to show you something else. The outer peace means mouth. It comes from the cuneiform word meaning mouth, okay? And instead of coming, instead of nose, it means mouth. It's the opposite. And instead of coming, it means going. And so when we even look at, okay, so when we look at it and we look at outer peace, it's the going, the leaving. We see two types of characters that are absolutely different. And I want to show you these characters. I have them written in my notes, okay? So I want to show you this, okay? Just don't worry about my notes so much, but see that, right? That cross, okay? See that cross? That's inner peace. Inner peace. That's what you get. Any kind of direction in cuneiform, when it intersects like that, you get some sort of inner thought or inner peace. But watch what happens when you have outer peace in cuneiform. In cuneiform, when you have outer peace, look what you get. You get two arrows of the same direction. Now, don't worry about what they're called. Don't worry about the parts of them and all that stuff. You don't need to know that. Okay, all you need to know is that, look at the difference. Inner peace is a cross. Outer peace shows a direction. Showing directionally even in cuneiform, you see the difference. Okay? You see a complete difference. And so today, okay, it's in Gaelic, okay, that going, that pouring, that mouth. In Gaelic, it's Shion. Shion. And actually, there's a little guttural there. It's Shiachon. 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 Okay? And that Shiachon, okay, or going, okay, or pouring, all right, that is so unbelievable to know that even then there's proof of these two clear types of peace. Now it gets better. Listen closely and try to stick with me now. And if you lose me at any point, just stop and play it back, okay? One of the things you need to know is that in inner peace, we talk about thought, but in outer peace, we talk about civility. Outer peace is all about civility. Inner peace is all about thought. It is all in the words. And even in the pre-Christian folklore texts. So that we understand now that the tribes, the Ishmaelites, right? The Celtic elite, the Roman Empire, and then the lower tiered castes, who all wanted to attack the Druids, okay, and also take out what? Take out the Celts, as far as the Celtic warriors. They didn't want Celtic warriors, which would have been equal to probably our, constables on patrol. They wanted to stop them in their tracks. And then they also didn't want the Druids, the priests. They didn't want religion. They didn't want they wanted to control the religion, right? So it's so interesting that we see all of this beautiful stuff, outpouring during this lesson that you're getting. And I just think that it was quite interesting that I kind of found this. The other thing we need to know, that if we want to summarize some of these things, that you have swiftness, which is the inner piece, and then the outer piece of shiachon. Now I do it more pronounced, but it depends. If you want to know the correct spellings, I'll give them to you in Gaelic. Inner piece is S-U-A-I-M-H, one letter. M-H is considered one letter, right? E-A-S, okay? That's swiftness, just like Solwyn. We don't say Samhain. I mean, you do. The Neopagans do. They do it all the time, but, and they're running a show teaching this stuff. When I'm just a novitiate trying to help you unbind your brain to what you've been brainwashed to believe. All right? So you have that swiftness. In the outer piece, you have the shiachon, okay? And that's spelled S accented I. That's an I with a little accent, okay? O-C-H, right? And then accented A, I, and N, right? Now that you know that, all right, I want to move into the second thing, that in inner peace, it's sort of action to get to peace, where in outer peace, no action is needed to get peace. The lack of action, the removal of action. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to do something to get inner peace. You need to do nothing to get outer peace. Because inner peace is agricultural based and outer peace is societal based. Inner peace is agricultural based. It's pagan. Outer peace is societal based, in which you need the priests, the Druids. Now let's continue. I'm going to give you 4 things to teach you swiftness. Swiftness. That's the inner peace. When you want to make peace with yourself and the God or gods of your understanding, I outline 4 things. Number 1, admit to any weakness within you. Admit to any weakness within you. Number 2, be willing to see change in you. Be willing to see change in you. Number 3, believe that the God or gods of your understanding sacrificed their death for you. That means that they died in honor for you. You must believe that. That the God or gods of your understanding sacrificed their death for you. They died for you. And 4th, bid with the God or gods of your understanding to allow for changes in your life. Bid with the God or gods of your understanding to allow for changes in your life. Do not just, there's the mommy prayer, right? The mommy praying type, okay? It's the nagging, the doing this, mom, or dad. After a while, you don't get what you want, unless you're, obviously, a spoiled millennial person of today that, they just decide no due process, no anything, let's just burn it down. No, we don't. No, that's not how things work. Okay, you need, if you want the God or gods of your understanding to help, you must be willing to bid. You can't just say, you could, but you can't just say, okay, to the God or gods of your understanding, I want, without saying, what of you will you give to them? What of you will you give to them? And that's what bidding is all about. That's what the word prayer is basically. It's a bidding, right? It's an exchange. And that exchange is almost sort of like bartering, right? You say, I will give this to you if you help me with this. But it isn't a quid pro quo. It's a quid pro soi, right? And so when we talk about the difference between those two, we know that it is willing, it is beautiful, it is wholesome. So I'm going to go over those with you again, okay? Number 1 would be the admitting part, admitting to any weakness within you. Number 2 would be willing to see change within you. Not just be willing to, not just seeing the weakness, but then also seeing the positive and seeing the change within you, right? Then believe that the God or gods of your understanding sacrificed their life for you. They died for you. They died in honor for you. And number 4, bid with the God or gods of your understanding to allow for the change to occur. That means you can't just say, I want. You must implore the God or gods of your understanding with giving them something back, showing how grateful you are. Got it? All right, and that's swiftness. Next is outer peace, and that's showing peace with others and situations. So now we're going even deeper, okay? Now we're going even deeper. This is Shiohon, okay? That's S, accented I, O, CH, that's one letter, accented A, I, N, Okay? Shiachon. Shiachon. Okay? That's outer peace. Now, in outer peace, there's the 4 steps, just like we had the 4 steps of inner peace, right? And the 4 steps of outer peace is to admit to weakness of all parties involved. You must admit to weakness, and everybody's going to say, well, Druid in the class, you're wrong. Well, I don't care. Okay, I'm telling you what it is. You can believe it or not. But the point is to understand that when we are admitting to all parties involved having weakness, then you are truly willing to encourage the shiachon, the outer peace. Be willing to see change in all parties. Believe that the change in all parties is possible. And allow the changes to occur. I bring this up because I know, especially with COVID, and I know especially with all this other stuff where people have been trapped in their homes for now over months. We've been in our homes. Think about it. We've really been in our homes. Trapped. Locked away in our homes. And we've been forced to be with people that we normally aren't all day long. It's just not healthy. It was never a healthy environment, and the government knew that. But I would say that, I said this because I knew that, and I could have done this a lot earlier, but I just decided to do it now. I had this written. I had this speech written for over a month, or 2 months actually, because I wanted to do it, but then I guess I'm just doing it now. Either way. Again, I thought about husband and wife. You say, and I know you're all going to say, well, Nicholas, you're gay. How come you aren't saying, husband and husband? Because I don't buy into pandering, folks. I don't buy into pandering. It's husband and wife. End of story. So anyway, you take it the way you want to take it. All right. The admitting to weaknesses in all parties is to say that to talk to your husband, to talk to your wife, and to say, look, can we both agree that we are both weak? And get them to remember. Be willing to see change and say, look, I can see the change that I want to see in me. And I'm also willing to see the change I want to see in you. Believe that the change is possible and state that to the other party. In this case, the warring tribe, or the tribe again. In this case, the Roman Empire, whoever the other party is, right? I believe that the change is possible. And lastly, once those 3 happen, then all the changes will just occur. I guarantee it. Now, I want to share some other occult knowledge with you, because my job as a Druid is not to keep the occult hidden, but to expose the occult to you. It's interestingly enough that I found that when talking about shiachon, or outer peace, the letters are man, the letter that represents man, twice, man plus man, outer peace, man plus man, and no action. That's how you would draw it. Man plus no action. Isn't it almost like, let's just do a timeout? It's kind of cool, right? And when we talk about inner peace, or the swiftness, the same MH, that one letter, MH is one letter, some people would say I don't want to use any linguistic technology, terminology, that's fine. But either way, in swiftness or inner peace, the three letters that became the derivative were the letter that represented man, the letter that represented tool, man, tool, and the letter that represented action, man, tool, and action for inner peace. One thing that we recall in this is the story going back to Lou. Remember, we talked about this, and all of this is back in the early part of the talk. In the early part of the talk, man plus no action, you have Mananag Maclir taking Lou away from Ireland. No action, they just moved. The action was that they didn't do anything to stop the flood, right? They allowed it to happen. And in inner peace, you get the letters for man, tool, and action. What was it? If we go back to the story that I read you, let me just find it. Here we go. Lou said, I will play on the Dagda's harp, and I will be given peace. Bingo. Man, tool, action, Lou, harp, and the action is to play it. Because then you can reciprocate whatever's being communicated from that tool. They didn't have the radio back then, folks. They didn't have Pandora. They didn't have YouTube. If they wanted to hear something beautiful, they had to do it. They needed a tool to do it. Mostly tools from bones, hollowed out bones, and then they would just make music with it. Or art. Whatever granted them peace, you see. So I hope that tonight's talk helped. We're not done. Now it's time for magic, and now it's time for your Druidic mantra. Alright, so let's do, how about we do the Foyirdo, okay, and that is this, okay. Whenever we do the Druidic mantra, remember the Druidic mantra has 4 parts, okay. It has the Deru and it has the Vid. I have to look at it this way because I can't say it this way, I guess. Okay, it has the Vid and it has the Deru. Alright, so let me just pour this back a little bit and I'll widen it out for you guys. There we go. Alright, so the Foyirdo, alright, is the Druidic mantra. And each Foyirdo has to have the 2 parts. It has to have the Deru part and it has to have the Vid for Druid. Okay? Here we go. The Deru and your Druidic tetrachronomy has 2 parts. Deru has the heart and the soul. The Vid has the mind and the spirit. So your Foyirdo is going to be this. I slide down, that's the heart part, I slide down the banisters of life. I slide down the banisters of life. And here's your mind and spirit part. Where the splinters are along my direction. Where the splinters are along my direction. So you have the Deru, which is heart, I slide down, soul, the banisters of life, and the Vid part is the mind, where the splinters are, and the spirit along my direction. So your Druidic mantra is, I slide down the banisters of life, where the splinters are along my direction. And that, folks, is your Druidic mantra. Okay, I slide down the banisters of life. Where the splinters are, along my direction. because you don't want the splinters you don't want to slide down and the splinters be going back. You want them to go with you, right? All right, and that's going to help you if you repeat that over and over again. I'll show it to you one more time if you didn't get it. I slide down, let me just widen it out. I slide down the banisters of life. I slide down the banisters of life where the splinters are along my direction. Okay, there we go. Sorry, when I see, you guys don't know, I'm seeing this all in reverse, like, you know, like ambulance. So I see that. All right, next. Now here's your magic. Here's your Druid, okay? Your Druid, okay? So what I want you to do for Druid, before I show you this, okay? So what happens if you're, so that's really for inner peace. Now for outer peace, say for example something's going on, right? And it's causing you disruption within your own life. It's causing you civil unrest, right? And you want it to stop. You want it to stop. Remember that whenever you do magic, it comes with a price. You got to be willing to pay that price if you want it, okay? It's not a bad thing. It just means that it does. Everything comes with a price, right? Nothing is free. Everyone works. Nothing is free. All start at the bottom. No one's entitled. No one gets what somebody else worked their ass off to get, right? Nothing is free. All start at the bottom. And you don't start at the top. You don't get the trophy for participating. Okay. So, in Druid, what I want you to do is I want you to, on a card, you could stick it in your wallet or something small. You could put it on like a little Post-it and keep it with you. Keep it with you. There used to be an old commercial called Calgon. It was a clothes detergent. And there, you could look on YouTube for Calgon old commercials. And so it was Calgon, take me away, and you know, and the crying baby, and the bills that were piling up, and then the fight with the husband, and all this, right? And the next thing you know, this woman is in this bath with bubbles. Okay, I guess that's what it was. It wasn't detergent. It was a bubble bath. I think it was that's what it was. It was a bubble bath, and she had these candles in the tub, you know. And it was like, Calgon, take it. So how do you do Calgon, take me away? Right? You don't say Calgon, take me away. I mean, that was just. I mean, you could say that if you want. That might work for you. I don't know. But all you need to do is work with a sign, a talisman. I'm going to give it to you right now. It is the 27th letter of the English alphabet. The 27th letter of the English alphabet. And there it is. You guys know what that is? The 27th letter of the English alphabet is the ampersand. All right? So the way you draw the ampersand is this line here, down and in. Okay? 2 would be over, down, and over. 3 would be then taking this from the line and over, like so, okay? And then 4 would be coming down and back. So that's how you draw the ampersand. Do it exactly like that. Don't do anything funky. Do it like that. Now, if you don't want to draw that ampersand, you're terrible at drawing an ampersand, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print you out an ampersand, and I'm going to include that in the comments after I'm done this talk, so in this way you have a picture of the ampersand. You don't need me to do that for you. All you need is to go online. You could actually print one out. It's good to retrace it, print it out smaller, but you can do whatever you want to do, okay? The best thing to do is to copy, paste it onto a Word document, and then you could hit one of the corners of the image and draw it down on your computer, and then print it out that way. There's lots of ways you can get the ampersand, or you could just kind of take one and redraw it. It's not really that difficult to draw. You could draw a regular ampersand. I like the ancient one, the oldest ampersand. This is the original. I like this one the best. And all you're going to do when things are going crazy for you, don't do this all the time. Don't do it all the time. Only when you really need things to just stop. Okay? You pull it out and you look at it. Now, does it mean or not mean that it will continue? This is only a Band-Aid. Okay? This is only a Band-Aid. This is not the cure. Okay? This is not the cure. You don't want the cure. The reason is because this is what's going to help at least create a balance between cosmos and chaos. If you want a cure for it and it to go away forever, then you're never going to have anything to work for. Use this magic. Use this Druid. And I promise you, I'm going to promise you 100%, it's always worked. Always. And it will always work. Do this, draw this out, and you will love it. I'm telling you again. So that's your Druid for the night, okay? So I gave you your Druidic mantra, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over everything we did, and we are going to see whether or not I cover everything I wanted to talk about. So here we go. All right. So we started with Serene Sunday, peace be with you. In this video, you will learn how to maximize the peace within and upon the life you want. Did we accomplish our objective, everybody? I think we did. I think we did. First, we started off with the word origin of peace. Then we related the word peace and how it associated with a concept that would be pleasing to the most holy ancient Druids. Third, we then reenacted the forms of the word peace. And, what we did was in pre-Christian folklore, we used two examples that distinguished types of peace. Using the story of how Lou was saved from the flood, right? All right. Fourth, we delved into the difference between inner and outer peace, and then presented tools to obtain them. All right. Remember, I gave you the 4 steps of each. And finally, what we did was we theorized mantras and magic to strengthen what you learned. I think we accomplished all of that, and I think that was awesome. So I hope that you enjoyed tonight's talk. I think that this is going to be the format I'll be using. It is a pain in the ass, guys, to do these things for you, because I gotta write them out, and I gotta mirror image everything so that you guys can see it, because everything you're seeing right now is actually in reverse. So as you're probably seeing that, that would probably be to your right, is actually to my left. You see what I'm saying? So and that's my holy water right there. I just made it today. It isn't blessed yet, but it will be soon. I haven't even done a Lunasa ritual. Who would like to do a Lunasa ritual with me? Huh? Anybody? We could do one tomorrow. I'm free. And it's never too late. I love the Plagans. They'll come on, the Neo-Plagans especially. The Neo-Plagans, the SJWs, they're the ones with the whole cancel culture thing. They'll come on, you aren't allowed to do Lamas ritual, right? It's too late. How dare, whatever. Do it when you can, okay? It's not a religion, folks. It's a creed. It's a way of life. It's something you live. All right, let's see what we got. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's see, any questions? I'll be answering questions. Those on the watch party, unfortunately, I won't be able to answer questions, but you can listen to the questions that are being asked on the live. And if you're watching this on YouTube, the same thing. Until I get the YouTube up and channel and running, I need 1,000 subscribers for better content, more content like this. I know you like this class. I know you liked it. Remember, these aren't really classes. These are meant to help you be better people and better versions of you tomorrow than you are today. All right. we have here Karen. I can't read that last name. Hi again. Sorry guys, hold on just a second. I will write and draw a picture about NR 617 inside nearest days, school beginning, have kept me busy with kids. Okay, Karen. I remember that, the number 617. Excellent, and thank you. I need that from you, and you could always give me a call. Just hit the call now button, or you can message me at Neoclasticlan, whatnot. Tommy Fleischman, how's it going tonight? Blessings. Evening peeps, Jerome. Okay. And I guess Jennifer is sending me a rose. Thank you. I've always been about service. Okay. Let's see here. Also, the first name of the Iron Druid. I didn't know that, Jerome. Thank you. Tracy, thank you for all of these wonderful lessons. I appreciate it. Suzanne Roth, very good lesson. Thank you. You guys got to know something. The Iron Druid. I think that's what he's talking about, Suzanne. I don't read novels. I read like 2 novels. The Shining, which I really loved, Jaws. I really loved that. So they were really the only 2 novels. You were like, how did you get through school? Reading is very difficult for me. I can't read. I could read a very difficult philosophy book like this. You give me a novel, and I'm like, I can't even remember what happened in the last chapter. No clue. What are you? I keep on and I do the same thing with television. When especially watching Britannia, because I've been on season 1, episode 1 and 2 forever, and the reason is because I keep on watching it and watching it and watching it to piece through and find the logical fallacies, so I can find exactly what is being communicated that is not false. That's why, there's probably about maybe 5 pieces of good, 5 to 6 pieces of great information about the Druids in each episode. Other than that, it's all theatrical licensing. So there we go. Yeah, so Suzanne, you're right. The Iron Druids, I don't read the Iron Druids. I don't read any stuff like that. You guys love that stuff. I know it. I'm just not a person that reads novels. I never liked them. But you give me some collegiate textbook on linguistics, or collegiate textbook on the Druids, or anything, or whatever. You name it. I have the history of Ireland. I love that stuff. I'm bigger into textbooks than I am into. I'm an academic, truly a priest of the Druids. All right. Thanks for taking the time. All right, great. All right, thank you, everybody. I hope you had a great night. Enjoy your night, and remember that I'm going to be giving you some information soon about some organizations that you need to be aware of that are hate organizations, and I'm going to be naming those organizations soon. Because at this point I have nothing to lose. And I'll tell you why. I'll be making a State of the Druidhood address, as I do every year, coming up on my 4th novitiate. I just was on the phone with Jerome today, and I showed him, I don't know what we said, Jerome, 2008? I officially began the journey? 2008? Yeah. 2008. It had to be 2008, 2007. I really started beginning this journey. Seriously. So I take all those years up until you know, when I first started the Druid Circle, and I consider them all postulant years and aspirancy years of a Druidicancy, and then now I'm in my in the Druidhood right now. So first degree Druid. So I'm very happy about that. All right, you guys have an awesome night. And if you have anything else, let me see if there's anything else, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I'm not from the U.S. Estonia, Europe. Oh, Estonian. Oh, nice, Karen. Nice. Welcome. Okay. Well, be proud to be an Estonian then. Be proud to be an Estonian. Okay. We're very patriotic here. We hope that you are too. Be proud of your country. And continue to make it great as we keep Druidism great and continue to make Druidism great again. Have a good one. Now for your prayer and your blessing. Alrighty. Oh, God, I'm getting old. Alrighty, here we go, guys. Here we go. Wherever you're at, whenever you're at. This is a nice blessing. May the gods bless you. May the goddesses keep you. May the Fae shine their light upon you, and may your ancestors be with you forever and ever. Girawan. Burn your torches through the night. Burn your torches through the night. Carry them high. Be proud. Burn your torches through the night. Light up your holy signs in fire. Light up your holy signs in fire. Of the stone, from the wood and of the stone. Est le mogui. This is my prayer. Be it thus. Be it thus. Ta she fear. Ta she fear. Good night. Whatever time of day it is, make it great.